Please feel free to adjust the playback speed to 1.25 or 1.5 depending on your preference.
Ideally, Jin-Woo is expecting an assassin class thanks to his consistent use of the dagger. The system analyzes his performance to calculate a specific job quest, which surprises him since he was expecting to choose his own fate. From his previous battles, Jin-Woo knows that he prioritized agility and strength the most. That means he's going to be assigned a fighter or assassin class as the most sensible options. He could even end up with a tank class for his health. Jin-Woo cares very little about the class since it's going to be an overall strength bonus to him regardless. Eerily, the system notifies him about death trailing the player wherever he goes, leaving behind a trail of corpses. It's quite a cryptic message, so Jin-Woo fails to understand the meaning, but he suspects that this has to be related to some kind of fighter class. That is until he receives the final notification, which outlines that he will command an army of the dead following him wherever he goes. His expectations have been flipped completely. His eyes widen at the sheer shock of the class he has just been assigned. Sung Jin-Woo has just been assigned to the Necromancer class, a class that physically causes him to express his shock since he didn't even invest many points in the intelligence stat. The Necromancer class is rooted in the Mage class, and these dark mages are responsible for commanding an army of the dead. While there's no known knowledge of a Necromancer existing among the hunters, it's well known in typical fighting games that these mages summon monsters to fight for them. But still, nothing makes sense, as Jin-Woo specializes in hand-to-hand combat from the day of his awakening. That, paired with the fact that he used daggers through and even attained a skill related to assassins. Logically, there's no explanation why he ended up in the Necromancer class. Deciding to calm his nerves, he chooses to be optimistic about the situation. There's the fact that becoming a Necromancer will help him command an army. That said, there's the risk that he won't grow stronger as a consequence, which makes him afraid that he might lose all of his stats. Jin-Woo is presented with an option to select the job, which is surprising since he never gets to choose. At first, his gut instinct tells him to decline to see what happens. But when he does that, the system persists in reminding him that he's choosing to decline a hidden class option. Fixating on that tiny little detail, Jin-Woo remembers how hunters can cast powerful shields and even grant buff abilities to others, despite not being healers. There's also the rumor of the Tiger Guild's master, Baek-Yun-ho, possessing a strange ability to transform into a magical beast. Hunters with specific special powers unique to them are recruited by top guilds, which is how they're able to enjoy a bunch of privileges. According to that description, Jin-Woo wonders if this would place them in the hidden class category as well. He's only indecisive because of the Necromancer class since any other job would have been worthwhile. Assessing what happened in the previous battle, Jin-Woo realizes that the mages were demonstrating a small example of a Necromancer by using summoned beasts. It was done to prove to him the worth of the ability. He grew increasingly impressed by the perfected details of the system. Unlike the mages he just fought, he's paired with personal fighting skills. The typical mage has trouble with combat while commanding an army. But with Jin-Woo's stats, he thinks he could clear a B-rank dungeon or higher on his own. After all, the system is controlled by skill levels and stats, which also means that his summoned monsters will increase in level. That's right, he no longer has to level up on his own anymore. With the class selected, Jin-Woo receives an additional promotion to the high-rank class for his immense number of points in the quest. He refused to use the teleportation stone, and he bulldozed the time trial. His health also capped over 50%. And then he managed to defeat every last enemy. All of these factors combined and hit the promotion point limit. Suddenly, a wave of shadows surrounds the hunter as he is promoted from Necromancer to the Monarch of Shadows. This is his second job change right after the first. With this, he's acquired more skills and obtained bonus stats. He's also acquired the title, Conqueror of Adversity. Jin-Woo is thrilled to receive 2 job changes in a single mission. This is all thanks to his efforts in pushing through the limits of the hidden quest. As an example, fighters would be promoted to berserkers. Knights would become sword masters. Mages would evolve into grand sorcerers. And for Jin-Woo, he would become the Shadow Monarch. The hunter hears the cries of the knights nearby, begging him to use the skill. The skill Shadow Extraction is applicable on each one of these knights, as that is the true ability of the Necromancer. Jin-Woo compares this ability to that of a commander, and the system requests that he specify one voice command to trigger the extraction skill. Without much thought, Jin-Woo firmly declares, "Arise," and unleashes his shadow summons. From the corpses of knights emerge shadowy warriors given a second chance at life. Jin-Woo is thoroughly impressed by their number and learns that his skill doesn't require any mana to be used. Although he has hit his limit for 30 summons for the time being, he can also preserve these summons for later. Jin-Woo wonders if he can turn any deceased opponent into his summoned beast. In his army, there are 27 knights and 3 mages for now. 30 summons can be made, but only 20 can be preserved for later use. This makes him stretch the possibilities of his skill. For example, wouldn't it be crazy if he obtained the shadow of an A-rank or S-rank hunter? Jin-Woo's eyes dart toward the defeated blood-red commander. He can't allow this opportunity to waste away. However, first, he needs to terminate one of his summons to allow Igris to become a part of his army. So, he decides to terminate the summoning for 11 of his existing shadows, returning them to the world of nothingness. Then, Jin-Woo turns back to his subject of interest. He wonders what would happen if he just made Igris a part of his army. At last, the command "Arise" escapes his mouth as a wave of shadow starts to emerge. However, the summoning gets cancelled with great resistance, surprising Jin-Woo a great deal. He has just failed his first shadow extraction and has 2 more attempts remaining. This is trouble, because if the stats and time of death of his enemies determine their ability to be summoned, then this guy is going to be really tough to extract as a shadow. With 2 chances left, Jin-Woo releases a second command. Yet again, he's met with shocking resistance from the commander. Now it's his one and only chance left. Instead of forcing his way, the hunter observes the throne. He realizes that Igris is loyal to the owner of the throne. Even in his death, Jin-Woo tempts the knight to stop serving the one who is gone and instead serve the one who is still alive. Saying those words, Jin-Woo releases his final command. This time, the wave of shadow doesn't push him back, and Igris's body starts reacting to the command. Before long, Igris the Red has just become the latest addition to his army. Jin-Woo finds himself cringing at the thought of saying the long name over and over, so he shortens it to just Igris. This shadow extraction is special, it starts at level 7 instead of level 1. The neat part about this system is that it allows the player to name the soldiers. The undead brooding knight stands before him, receiving his name as Igris. We then take a peek at Jin-Woo's current stats. He's made many additions to his skills, jobs, and stats during this hidden quest. He even obtained a new title. Igris descends to one knee, showcasing his loyalty to serve his new master. The same goes for the rest of the summons, all bowing down to their new master. Pleased, Jin-Woo is happy to fight alongside his new undead allies. Stepping out of the dungeon gate, Sung Jin-Woo has officially made it out alive. We see this guy completely dead tired, exhausted in his bed. In the next scene, he doesn't want to get up, but his phone keeps ringing. Jin-Woo picks it up, only for his sister to shout at him for still being in bed. She reminds him that it's 2 p.m. and he's late for the parent-teacher conference. Our boy experiences urgency like no other for his sister, rushing to the bathroom and reminding her that he won't be late. With his hygiene check done, Jin-Woo assesses that it would be a good idea to dress properly for the meeting. He makes a trip to the local bank for an update on his bank account. The receptionist is stumped to find this kid having a boatload of over 1 billion won. It doesn't make sense for someone like him to have so much money, so she asks about his occupation. Learning that he's a hunter, she realizes he must be a high-ranking hunter. She even offers him to make an investment in the bank for privileged opportunities, but our boy declines because he isn't interested. Later that day, Ji-na is standing with a blank expression on her face. She fails to recognize that the dude in front of her is really her big brother. This guy's just got a fresh cut with a high-collared shirt, achieving the proper look he wanted. Even Ji-na can't believe that someone like him went through so much change. Jin-Woo argues that it's only ideal for him to wear good clothes for a meeting. As he's making his way past Ji-na's classmates, the girls are all shocked, swooning over this guy. Sung Jin-Woo out here is getting popular with everyone, which makes Ji-na release a teasing remark. She's fine with helping him find a girlfriend if he wants. In response, Jin-Woo pulls her cheek in typical brotherly fashion. He enters the conference room to meet Ji-na's teacher, who immediately calls him handsome upon entering the room. Yeah, this guy is even rizzing the teachers now. Jin-Woo doesn't remember meeting this teacher before. They discuss Ji-na's excellent grades and good personality. She's considered a model student, so the teacher has very few concerns regarding her future. What's more is her plan to attend medical school. Since she's already got good test scores, the teacher hopes her brother doesn't go heavy on expectations of her. Jin-Woo responsibly understands. The teacher goes off on a different tangent regarding his hunter rank. She wants to test a hypothetical scenario. In the case Ji-na does awaken as a hunter, what would he do? Jin-Woo meets it with a sharp refusal. He says no. The teacher understands. She only brought this up because there's one other student who is looking to drop out of school due to their recent awakening, which is why they're skipping grades now. The school will inevitably have to take action if her behavior continues. Even the teacher thinks it's risky to rely on becoming a hunter before graduation. An intrigued Jin-Woo asks about her ranking. Turns out, this girl is also starting at the bottommost rank, which means she's doomed and will be killed very soon. The teacher requests a favor from him. After all, this student is Jin-Ah's friend. The teacher wants Jin-Woo's help to persuade the student to finish high school before dropping out. Soon after, Jin-Woo learns her name. It's actually Sung, and she's been on a private raid with him before. The meeting ends there.
We will finish this chapter here. Next chapter will be out soon, so stay tuned.